The story begins by showing an injured woman avoiding some woman as she sings Twinkle Twinkle Little Star to her baby. She leaves the child with someone who invites her into her home as she claims to have to get her medicine. However, she never returns and we see that 18 years has passed. A young girl named Lu Kao begs for some candy as we can see she is asking a grown-up version of the baby since we see that he wears the same walnut necklace. His name is Shu, and he explains that they need to save money. The girl dramatically claims that he has changed, so he gives in and asking she's soap operas. He overhears people talking about someone that had admitted blue light from their hands and another that was able to lift 4,000 pounds. He explained that there has been lots of news recently about people being able to do superhuman things, and some people are claiming them to be superpowers. The two attempt to watch a show at the festival, but he isn't able to carry her for long, so they make their way to the front of the crowd, where Shu has a strange vision. As they watch the show, he begins to wonder if the performer is using some kind of trick to control the fans. Perhaps he has developed superpowers. After Luca would like to go backstage in hope of being taught the trick so they can make some money. Shu says it's a bad idea but hesitates for a moment and realizes it might actually be a great idea. There, they witness a performer is put to sleep, and once they were found, they claim that they simply got lost looking for the bathroom. The men claim to be police and are simply taking the performer into custody for not having permission to do a show there. Shu thinks how deaf that's a lie, but doesn't say anything as the man lets him leave. Outside, a man sees that, and Shu saw, however, she doesn't like the stranger and just ignores him. He then thinks to himself how it seems as if the performer had been using his superpowers in the show and predicts that the men might be going around capturing those with powers. Luca keeps using his name and Chu says to call him brother, but she refuses, reminding him that they are not blood related. He threatens to leave her at the orphanage, but she says to do it since she'll find her way back to him anyway. Chu asks what she would do if there were super strong people in the world, and she says she would just become stronger. She believes that she would be weak, but says it's okay. Later, Luca watched the news that shows people young and old doing superhuman things and questions if it's magic or not. Shu will have to go to the store to get more noodles, but Luca says his food never has flavor and would rather eat the walnut around his neck. He says not to even think about it, and she even exclaimed that he has changed. On his way to the store. He has memories of how Luca has always been his sight growing up. As he crosses the street, he's struck by a vehicle and lies on the ground as he loses consciousness. However, in that moment, something supernatural occurs in his walnut and is destroyed by emitting a light that curses through his body. He wakes up having no damage and feeling no pain, making him wonder if he has developed powers. But put that aside if he wants to take the opportunity to make the driver pay. However, the man runs away as he believes Shu has become a ghost. He buys some flavored instant noodles for Luca and runs home. His encounters with people after the accident shows number of their head, but he ignores them. He explains to Luca that he was hit by a car but is fine, and she concludes that Shu must have killed the driver. He inspects his body to find a strange marking when a user interface appears before him. It displays several names of people he doesn't know with balances next to them. He then realizes that he had scared the people earlier and their negative emotions became his points. He believes to have awakened his power and become the Demon King since the more negative emotion, the stronger he becomes. He uses his balance to gamble but loses several times. He finally manages to win one round and only receives an apple in return. However, after eating it, he realizes it gives him a really good feeling. He gambles away his remaining balance but manages to win his final turn. He gives the lyrics to Twinkle Twinkle Little Star that has been altered a little. But after singing the song, he sees that he has been taken to a star system. She says no, and he is stupid, making him realize he must be still home. Luca needs to know what to put on the noodle, so he tells her to put onions, which annoys her a bit and makes him realize he can get points off of her. Later, the two watch soap operas together. When the news reveals a fire nearby, Shu goes to see it from the roof and finds the strange man from before. The men find him and question what he's doing. Shu luckily had found a basket of radishes and tells the man that he was up there collecting them. One of the men says he didn't notice any fluctuations in Shu's heart rate and they let him go. He wants to explain everything to Luca but interrupted by someone falling off of the roof. She has several negative feelings for not being able to investigate with him and follows him anyway. The man is the performer from earlier, and she wonders if he had caused the fire. He speaks poorly of the man, and the number reveal that man is only pretending to be unconscious. She wants more points, so he says that they should leave the performer's body there, and it's not their problem. The man begs for water, but Shu only offers snow. He continues to antagonize the man, so the performer tries to burn Shu. However, all of his attempts are unsuccessful and claims he was just joking. He leaves, and Shu explains that he has awoken his power, but Li Shu doesn't believe it and says it wouldn't matter anyway since his body is so weak. Later, Shu realizes the user interface has also a shop and he buys a celestial fruit. After eating it, he arrives at the star system again where he sees the second star being illuminated. He returns to find that he now has superhuman strength. He goes back to the living room and the child tases him for missing a school event. But he explains it's because they have no money. He needs to pay for food and her schooling. He teases one of his friends over messaging and finds that he can earn points that way as well. The shops bring some eggs that they will be able to sell the next day, and Shu praises her for being well done, but asks about her homework to farm some more points. The next day, Shu sells some food alone as Li Shu has a cold. He is near the school and some of his classmates ignore him out of embarrassment. A rude classmate named Li tries to humiliate Shu, but he is unbothered. Shu manages to trick him into buying all the rest of his eggs while also getting a loss of points off of him. The guy has no cash, but a popular girl named Chow lends him some. Shu explains how eggs are in high nutritional value and a good brain stimulant as his annoyed classmate leaves. In class, it is revealed that a website has been made specifically about awoken people. It is explained that there are currently 6 ranks from the F to A range, and powers are resonant with heaven and earth, leveling up slowly by awaking multiple times as possible. Shu acknowledges that he is currently only level F, just as a student barges in, revealing that a classmate has just awoken. After arguing with the teacher, Shu follows the commotion after eventually leads him to the roof, passing Xiao along the way, noticing that she hides her abilities. At the roof, the student wants that nobody approached him, but all she can think about how to collect all the negative emotions. The student believes he won't get in trouble for any wrongdoings because he is too young, but Shu steps up to demonstrate his in-depth knowledge of the law, which shocks everyone and earns him several points. That opportunity is used to capture the student, and the classmate wonders how Shu knew he wouldn't throw the teacher. But explained he didn't know back in the class, it's revealed that everyone is getting a blood test that cannot be avoided. On his way home, Shu sees the same guy he ignored at the festival helping Azanti with some medicine and only to ignore him again. The child is getting worse since she tried to wash Shu's clothes and he attempts to get celestial fruit in the hopes that it will cure her. He finally manages to win a few and she is shocked when she eats it. The child gets better and wonders that what kind of food was that. He gives her some more and she begins to believe he is awoken and wonders if the food growing is his great ability. She explained that she would like to be awoken as well and he promises to find a way. Before he leaves, he mentions her homework after a few times to get some points back. The next day, it is explained that there will be some special class set up for the awoken and they will know who they are. Because of the blood test, Shu's classmates mock him as they are confident he is not awoken, since he appears to be so weak. All the students are then introduced to the teacher of the special class named Mr. Fei. The students of the special class are then revealed one by one, and everyone is shocked when Shu's name is called. We are then shown a dispute far away over some ruins. It is between a man and someone he refers to as an invader, and their dispute becomes a fight. In class, a new student, Zhang, is introduced and is next seated to Shu. The class is surprised to find that he is a boy as he has many feminine features. Later, Shu realizes that his new teacher was one of the mysterious men in black he met before, and wonders what the class's true purpose is. Mr. Fei asks if anyone knows what sodium potassium alloy is and calls on Shu, but his answer is embarrassingly bad, and Jiang explains that many metal have become a medium for oral transmission, and some people are even to turn into them weapons. Mr. Fei explains that 17 months ago, the world environment began to change and people with skill emerged when sodium-potassium alloy comes into contact with the blood. The color that emerges reveals the person's rank. However, he makes it clear that this is only their current level, and how they develop depends on them. Later, the student ranks are published and classmates mock Shu because he's rank F. Jiang is amazed, however, at how unaffected Shu is by the result as he sends a message making fun of his rude classmates' haircuts. That night, Shu reveals that he only started eating more food after the blood test, so the results are definitely worse than how strong he actually is. His user interface reveals that he has reached the maximum amount of food he can win with the lottery and it can be bought at the shop only. He tries to raffle again and to find that the new prize is now stinky tofu. Lisha would like for him to get some more pancakes, but several attempts only results in more tofu. Eventually, though, something new occurs out of the effect of Lisha causing her to see star system of her own meaning that she has had her first awakening. That night, she wonders what the difference between their two star systems is and if there is a connection. He wishes that he would stop getting so much more stinky tofu when he comes up with an idea. The next day, Shu admires the man as he practices swordsmanship and yada yada yada. And more yada yada yada. The results are putting great Shu in a great mood and early plenty of points to buy tons of fruit directly from the shop. After some time, we see that Shu's star system has could develop quite a bit, and he's now able to call upon a sword. He recalls how Mr. Fei taught them that there can on 3 to 7 stars. Shu explains that he received the star after breaking to the first star and wonders what he will get for breaking all of the 7. At school, the students panic about recent bank robbery committed by some awoken and wonders if it will cause problems for the other awoken. They discuss the idea of their class forming a group that fights crimes. Lee explains that Shu doesn't have to be completely useless as his father is, thinking about hiring a bodyguard. Shu explains that Lee is clearly an unhappy person and he's glad he disliked him. In a special class, Mr. Fei gives each of the students a spirit stone that they are supposed to use to help them practice and report the results. However, after using its shoes, it makes the star system extremely violent, making it useless, and he wonders how he will tell Mr. Fei. The next morning, the swordsman once again sees that she was admiring his technique and asks if he wants to learn, only to find that he is not invested in anything. Jiang tells Shu about an organization authorized by the country to gather awakeners. They are divided into the Earth network, which is for the most common awakeners, and the Heavenly network, which are for the strongest that are at least B rank. There are less than 10 members in the Heavenly network, the strongest of which is a man named Ting. That night, Shu eavesdrops as he sees that the swordsman next door has a visitor who introduces himself as Ting and asks to see Master Li. Master Li is glad to see members of the Heavenly Network and welcomes Ting inside. Ting explains that the world is at war and asks that Master Li join him as the last member of the Heavenly Network. Master Li explains that they have different views and he only wants to spend his twilight years in comfort. Ting says that there are many ruins that have yet to be explored and they find more herbs. They will hopefully get them in time. Master Li declines his offer and Ting hopes that next time they meet they will not be enemies. As he leaves, Ting promises to still keep his word about the herbs. Afterwards, Shu explains who that was to Li Xiao and thinks how it might be a good idea to accept lessons from the swordman as it seems he is more powerful than he originally thought. The next morning, Shu expresses his interest in learning from Master Li, but there is one thing taking up all his time. Master Li is eager to teach, and so Shu offers up to help any way he can. Shu says he needs help with his sister and explains not to worry as she is super nice. A grumpy Li Shil emerges from the house, and Shu explains that Master Li will look after her when he's not around and with help of her studies. Thanks for watching. That's it for